Ciao, everybody. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. We are doing a live match reaction to PSG and Juventus match day. One in the Champions League. Um, it ended up in a 2-1 defeat to the Parisians to the Ligue 1 outfit. And my, I'm kind of shocked. I'm kind of shocked at what happened. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff for Juventus, for all of us here at the Bianconeri Zone. Um, I'm not gonna. I thought I was after the first half. I was gonna come on here and completely roast Juventus. I was gonna roast from top to bottom, from management to club, or management to or coach to players. I was gonna come and do that, but I'm still gonna do that. By the way, not to the extent I was about to do that though. But what an atmosphere! Firstly, let's talk about the atmosphere at the Parc des Princes, because that is a proper home crowd. That is a proper home crowd. That is a proper atmosphere. That is what you want to play in front of as a player. How electric was that stadium tonight? The songs, the fireworks, all of it included. It was awesome to watch, awesome to hear. So good for them, for PSG and their fans, that they have that available to them. Agnelli, buddy, you got to let that back in. I'm sorry. You got to let that back into the stadium, because that was awesome. That was an awesome atmosphere. As for the game itself, it started exactly the way I thought it was going to start. We had a back three playing a high line for whatever reason, and the Olympic sprinter Mbappe himself got him behind countless times and scored 2 goals. 2 goals in the first 22 minutes. We looked shocked. We looked scared. We weren't ready to play. It was quite obvious at the time. We weren't ready. We were in awe of what our surroundings was, what the opponents were. You could see the first time we gave away possession was Bonucci, our captain, our leader, 30 seconds into the game, making a misplaced pass. When the leader's doing that, you know it's going to go downhill from there. However, first half was what it was. We had one clear-cut chance with Milik hitting it square down the peg of Donnarumma. Okay. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this before I continue. I was wrong. I thought PSG were going to be really good in the air defensively, but they sucked. They sucked in the air defense. They could not clear a ball to save their life. They could not head a ball out to save their life. Every time we put the ball into their box, it was Timbit soccer. If you're Canadian, you know what that is. If you're Canadian, you know exactly what Timbit soccer is. The ball is just bouncing in the box, and nobody knows how to clear it, and it looks like they're playing soccer for the first time. It was, you know what? I was shocked at that. I was shocked at how bad they were in their own box. But as a team of themselves, PSG, they sat back and let us try and play. And at the end of the day, it was quite glaring, not shocking, but it was glaring to see that a team like PSG was going to allow us to play after they went up 1 or 2 goals, because they knew we couldn't break them down. They knew that we weren't going to make incisive passes. They knew we were going to try and play into their box. And they had a good game plan. The first half is what it is. It was. We were shocked. We were in shock and awe. We gave them way too many chances. We were Swiss cheese. We got carved open. And then the second half happened. We went to a 4-4-2. And it continued to go poorly. It continued to go poorly up until Mbappe went on a 2-on-1, and he, instead of squaring it across the goal to Neymar for a 3-0 lead, he hit the side of the net and he shot himself. And then we scored on the ensuing corner kick. Like, we went down the other field, we got a corner kick, and McKennie scored. And then that's when the game changed in terms of dominant territorial play. We had more of the ball in their half. They sat back even more. So at the end of the day, it could have got a lot worse if PSG were more clinical. But at the same time, we could have got a point out of this, really. We could have got a point out of this if we were a little bit more clinical and we were a little bit more adventurous in their box. Too many times we just again we just pass the ball across the top of our area, or their area, back and forth switching play, and we weren't getting good concrete or good avenues to their net. I will say again, another thing, for sure, there is a weird issue with how we set up our fullbacks and our wingers. We were playing a 4-4-2 in the second half, and DeShilio was the one wide, and Kostic was playing more centrally. If Kostic is the guy that you want crossing the ball, you got to get him out wide as much as possible. At the end of the game there, I saw DeShilio as our widest player. Kind of weird. I needed to see because we knew the right hand side we were not crossing the ball, and like Danilo and McKennie at the end of the game, they weren't on that. They weren't playing to cross the ball, and McKennie was playing out wide to get into the box so our left side could cross it into them. So that's one thing that irked me in the second half. Other than that, the second half we were okay. We kept up, but I don't know. Did they take off the gas or take their foot off the gas in the second half? A little bit had to do with that as well, PSG. But we were okay in the second half. We were okay. Perrine at the end made a great save. Like, applaud. That was one of the best saves I've ever seen, to be honest. He dove across the net, stacked his pads, another hockey Canadian term, and we went the other way and countered almost. At the end of the day, there was a clear difference in talent. Like Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi, they're on a completely different level. Completely different level. And it is very obvious that like Mbappe especially won the game for PSG today. He was just clinical. He scored 2 goals. He could have probably had more, but he scored the 2 goals that mattered. Milik did not. Milik had a couple chances. Vlahovic had a chance. Great save from Donnarumma. By the way, I'm not coming out of this in a positive sense. I want to say that I'm not saying that this is a positive result or anything, because this is not. Like, we still were ass for 55 minutes up until the McKennie goal or the Mbappe miss, let's say. We were ass, and that's just there's no sugarcoating that. We were scared to play against them. If we had some balls, like just maybe even like 75% of balls to go and attack a bit more in the first half, we would have had maybe a different result. Maybe they would have countered us and it would have been 3-0, or maybe we would have scored a goal ourselves. But the way we were scoring goals today was crossing and hoping that Vlahovic or Milik would get on the end of it. In our goal, in our case of the goal, it was McKennie's goal. Still not good enough, obviously. I think we need to focus on the league. The best thing that came out of this game, and I have no idea what Allegri's going to say after the game. I'm only going to guess. What Allegri's going to say here. Allegri's probably going to say we had a good second half. We should have done better with our chances, and it was a good performance, he'll say. And no one's going to agree, and they're all going to get mad. But he wasn't the worst thing that happened to Juventus today. He wasn't the main reason why we lost. The way we set up defensively and him starting Bonucci, yeah, we shouldn't have started Bonucci. Like, that's just it. We shouldn't have started Bonucci. He's 35 years old, going against an Olympic athlete, Olympic sprinter. He started a 35-year-old against an Olympic sprinter. There was never going to be another result. Like, Mbappe was getting behind our defense very easily in the first half. And the second half, not as easily, but not as frequent, I'll say. But still easily. It's a shame that we didn't score on our chances because, again, I don't know what happens in PSG's area when they defend, because it isn't good. It isn't good, clean defensive soccer. I'm telling you that right now. So next time, I hope on the return leg. So when we play at home, we remember this and we start funneling crosses constantly, consistently into the box because they apparently do not know how to deal with it. In terms of standouts, I think Paredes was very good today. When I say very good, was he neat and tidy on the ball? Not really, but his competitiveness, his combativeness, what he did in front of the back four or back three at the time, he blocked a lot of play, and I thought he was good in that aspect. In terms of going forward, at the end you could see he was starting to connect passes really well, but in the first half there was nothing to pass to. So obviously it looked like he was giving up possession too much. I think though he was very good, and I think throughout the season Paredes would be better or will be even better and more important for the team. Cuadrado, horrible. That guy can't start anymore. I said this. When did I say this again? I said this after Spezia or something. When I did that post game, I said it against Spezia. Why is this guy still like? What's his purpose? To give the ball away. Milik was okay in his hold up play. In the final third, he wasn't good. Vlahovic ghosted. Not much service. Not what are you gonna do? Kostic, fine. He got an assist today again, but he was fine. Sorry, he was okay. Moretti, he looked out of it. Honestly, I don't blame him. He's like that's the one kid I'm not going to say, oh, it's all your fault. Like he's 19 years old. He's going up against Verratti and Messi in the middle, playing keep ball. Like what do you expect? Rabiot was okay. He was okay. He was Rabiot. He didn't do anything harmful. Bonucci was not good. Bremer, not really great. Danilo, not good. And Perrine was good. A lot of people were giving him stick for the goal against. I don't... The shot's coming so fast, and that build-up play is coming up so fast. I think only Donnarumma and Courtois saved that shot. The first goal for Mbappe. I think because Donnarumma and Courtois are such big dudes and they're good shot stoppers, those are the only two goalies who would save that first goal. So I don't blame Perrine whatsoever. Could he have had a stronger hand? Maybe. But like at the same time, Mbappe striking the ball so close, so hard at you from short range, I think that's a goal on most goalies in the world. I'm not gonna do any player ratings. I know people love player ratings. Should I just go through player ratings and give them numbers? You guys let me know. I think there's some good and some bad to take out of this game, and we have a super chat here from Zenith. So thank you very much for supporting the channel as always, Zenith. I'm gonna plop it up right on the screen there. Well, that's huge. So he or she is saying one thing we definitely need is a midfielder or attacker that gets in between the lines. I noticed that there's so much space between our strikers and holding midfielders. Absolutely. You're spot on, Zenith. I think today they tried to use Moretti, but he wasn't doing it. I think that's why he got pulled off at halftime. And again, no disrespect towards Moretti today, but he wasn't at it today. He's 19 years old. First Champions League game ever against Verratti and Messi. He was probably thinking, holy shit, I'm on the same field as these dudes. But we definitely do need a creative linchpin. I think that could have been Di Maria today, but unfortunately, he's hurt. Unfortunately, we went against a full strength PSG team, and we had Di Maria, Chiesa, Pogba out. So, yes, and I said this in our group chat. This game was perfect for a player of Depay's caliber. A player that just drifts in between the lines. If you're playing a 3-5-2 especially, you can get in between the lines and let Vlahovic be the focal point and you come and collect the ball. Today was a day that you get Depay and you let him run free, or roam at least. And people are saying I'm not blaming Moretti at all. NB7. I did not blame Moretti at all. Not once whatsoever. I just said I literally said I cannot blame the kid. He's 19 years old. He was in awe. The occasion might have got to him. So, yes, we were not creative today. The goal was get the ball wide, cross it in. There it is. I'll read you some match stats. So possession was 57-43 in favor of PSG. Expected goals 1.53 to 1.06 for PSG. 15 shots to 13. So again, when we think about this, we had 13 shots, not on goal, but we had 13 shots directed at goal against PSG. When Saturday and against Sampdoria, we muster absolutely nothing. It's getting very, very tiresome to come on here and ask what is going on. And yesterday when I did the preview, Juventus gave me no reason why I should expect anything less than a 3-0 result for PSG today. Because of what I've seen before in the past 5 games of the season. So I was very negative yesterday, and I was almost proved right in the first half. But in the second half we played I'm not saying we played a lot better, but there was an instance where Mbappe could have made it 3-0, or in that situation where he could have crossed it over to Neymar, could have made it 3-0. But instead, he was selfish, and Juventus went the other way and scored a goal off a corner. Which, by the way, someone tagged me, or I tweeted at the beginning of the second half, oh boy, here we go. McKennie's coming on. What's he going to do in a 4-4-2? And I was being sarcastic. I was like, that'll solve everything today. And I'm not saying we didn't look better, because obviously we had chances later on in the second half. But we still weren't great. McKennie scored a goal off a corner. It's not that because he was playing in a 4-4-2 that he scored a goal. If he was playing central midfield, he still would have scored that goal, is what I'm saying. There's 2 dislikes in here, but let's get the likes up in here. Let's get the likes up. Likes up for a performance that wasn't too bad. I'll say that. It wasn't the worst performance I've seen this season, at least. So again, thank you, Zenith, for that super chat. Really appreciate it. Going back on the stats, again, 15-13 shots for PSG. Big chances were 3-1. Big chances missed were 2-1 in favor of PSG. Accurate passes 600 to 434. Passes accurate 93 to 91, all in favor of PSG. We committed 18 fouls. They committed 11. Let's get one thing straight here. That Moretti yellow card in the first half was never a yellow card. That was crazy. And also yesterday, if you guys actually watched my preview, I said, don't complain when Neymar's on the floor crying the whole game. Because we knew that was going to happen. And honestly, if Juventus were up 2-0 and 2-1, you don't think Cuadrado would be on the floor. You don't think Vlahovic would be on the floor. It's potato at this point. Offsides were 4-1. We had more offsides. Corners were 1-1. We scored on our corner. Yeah. So there you go. And then this app gives you a lot more details and stats, but doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, we lost that game because we started off so poorly and so scared from the start. If we came out with a little bit of confidence and not so much sitting back, which obviously that's an Allegri thing, I don't know if the result would have changed, because 2-1 is 2-1. 2-1 is 2-1. Juventus could have played the best game of the season and lost 2-1 to PSG, because they're that kind of team. PSG are that good. We could have played our best game and lost 2-0. But I think the score is a fair result. Um, I think next time in the reverse fixture, when we do go up against them again and it's at home, you can't be that scared of them as you were in the first half. You can't. You just can't. It's not. It, you saw what happened. 6 minute goal, 22nd minute goal. Then you're on your heels the rest of the game. So I think the start needs to be better. I think the choice of personnel needs to be a bit better next time we play them. I don't think Bonucci should start against that PSG team ever. He just can't keep up anymore, and that's fine. Let Bonucci play against Salernitana. Let Bonucci play against Lecce. Let Bonucci play against those other teams. So when we have to dictate the game and make passes forward, we can. But against PSG, I want Gatti. I want Gatti playing. Apparently the some match. I'll read out some after the match comments by our players or our coach. Let's see if our follow Bianconerizon on Twitter if you haven't already, and we have all the stuff covered. Yeah, we'll start with Danilo here. Oh no, will we start with Danilo? Where's Ale going here? Okay, so Danilo goes and says, I wonder why it had to be an easy game for PSG. We have character, pride, and quality. We can become a very strong team. So that's what he said at first. And then he went on to say, we work every day to go and win on every pitch. In Florence, we did not perform at the level of our club demands, but today we showed pride, character, equality, except for the first 20 minutes. So, wait, sorry, is that Neil James saying Juventus in the mud? I'm pretty sure he is a Chelsea fan, and they lost to Dinamo Zagreb today. So I'm going to ban him for now. He gets a timeout. Neil James, you get a timeout. You're taking your frustrations out on a team that lost to PSG, that are Champions League favorites, and you lost to Dinamo Zagreb. Too funny. Anyway, so Danilo said that, and then he said, from the next game, we must attack the opponent immediately. The jersey demands it of us, and I learned a lot from the first day I arrived. We have the will and the belief that we can become a very strong team. Even the newcomers are proving it. So yeah. So that's what Danilo had to say, and obviously Allegri is going on his rant now. I'll talk about Allegri in a second, but Danilo first. He says this after every game. Whenever he has the opportunity to say, he has the opportunity to go and do post-game press conferences, he always says, the shirt demands more. I just don't agree with... I agree with what he says. I agree with what he says. I don't believe that they're doing anything about it. I don't think the first 10 minutes of Salernitana Juventus on Sunday, it's going to be a higher tempo. I don't see it happening. I'm sorry. I've seen this team for a year and 7 days now. Danilo says this shirt makes us need to play better and demands more. Yeah, you're right. So do it. Don't say it after every post-game conference you do. I don't know. We'll read Allegri's now. Again, I'm not trying to poo-poo on Danilo either. I'm not trying to say, oh, Danilo's shit, he's wrong. But Danilo hasn't played well this year. And the way he's started and now he's talking and he's going to get a contract extension, it's just like, ugh, man. Who decides who gets these contracts here? So Allegri saying this was a missed opportunity. So let's backtrack for a sec. Allegri said on Saturday, the real rivals of this group are Benfica. So he's lying. He either lied Saturday or he lied right now. and I'm gonna assume he lied Saturday. But he's saying this was a missed opportunity. We have to see it as a missed opportunity. In the end, we were lackluster. We need to improve, and we're working on that. We are waiting for some players to return, and I think this is good for Juventus. In the second half, we defended better. In the second half, we defended better, he said, which is statistically not true, by the way. I just read you out some stats, and the advanced stats say they were not better statistically in the second half defending. PSG just didn't score. But he went out to say that we defended better in the second half, instead of saying we were better in the neutral and attacking thirds. He's just out to lunch. Or, again, he's lying. And he doesn't want to say what happened. He goes on to say the team played a good game. We had McKennie in there, who is someone who can make those runs. We had to exploit him more with crosses from the left. That's what I said earlier in this post-match show. I said the ball had to come from Kostic so McKennie can make the runs from the right into the box. Didn't happen as much. We could have been more dangerous in those situations. In the second half, we risked in some situations. Nobody has the speed that they have. They have one dude that's fast up top, Mbappe, Olympic sprinter. Messi ain't that fast anymore. Neymar ain't that fast anymore. Hakimi's fast, sure. But you let the one guy who's going to get in behind, you let him do it. The difficulty is when you don't have the ball. In the first half, we were a bit asleep. I agree. Then McKennie gave us legs and strength. I half agree. There must be a regret that we didn't score. I guess he means score more. So, okay. We had prepared the game to be aggressive. Then they were very good. In the second half, playing with 4 midfielders, Kostic helped a lot. Okay. And then I think, Paredes, players of a certain level are good, or are just good. You can see how they control the ball and what they think and when they play the ball. He is out of a higher level. I agree. I think Paredes is a blessing in disguise for this midfield. You'll start to see it later on in the season when you see him more and more. Against Fiorentina, we did not decide to go and attack, and that was his first game, and he's been here for 2 days. So I don't blame Paredes at all for Saturday. Today, you saw what he is. Combative, likes to play the ball forward, like I said. Had to force things today, which in the first half was inevitable because we didn't decide to go attack, and it is what it is. But I'm happy so far with Paredes. It's been 2 games. And by the way, he played the full 90 minutes today when he's probably not the most match fit. And don't say Justin in the mud. Citizen scientists are saying Justin in the mud because he didn't want Paredes, but at the same time, I might be completely wrong. Right? So Paredes might be a flop, but at the end of the day, we'll see. It's been 2 games. Allegri goes on to say, we're at the beginning. 7 or 8 new players have arrived, so we're on the right path. And now the most important thing is Salernitana. Yep, you got to move on to the next game, but you got to go attack the next game. You got to, you need to go put Salernitana to the sword here. I'll read some Rabiot quotes and then we can continue on from here. Rabiot saying we started badly in the first half, especially the first 20 minutes. We suffered. We were sitting back too low. We had a good second half where we could have done better and taken advantage of the chances for the 2-2. I'm a bit angry because we could do better in the first half. We conceded 2 goals too early, and that's when the game changed. We also showed we could do much better, especially in the second half. We had chances. Yep. There's work to be done, finding the right form, the right players on the pitch, and the way to play. But tonight we did much better than the league games. Did we do much better than the league games? It's like when we played Roma, we had a good first half, and then we had a shit second half. It wasn't much better today. We had a really shit first half, and then we played all right in the second. It was all right in the second half. So Rabiot goes on to say, unfortunately, when we lose people, Oh, sorry. When we lose, people say that the players play badly, the coach, but that's not the case. We had a good reaction. I'm happy about that. We have to work. We're at the beginning, and it's still a long way. I will give him that. We lost today 2-1, and there's gonna probably be people calling for Allegri's head right now. I'm not. Do I agree with everything he did? No, but I'm not calling for his head right now. I'm not calling for Bonucci's head. The only player that I'm calling out right now, because I've seen it for 2 years now, a steep decline. I don't want Cuadrado anywhere near the field. That is the one player I'll say I do not want to see on the field. And I think that's fair because he's been here long. I've seen the decline. You've seen the decline. So I think Rabiot has a point here, but at the same time, the way you played in the first, I'll say 40 minutes, first 45 minutes, you can't do that. Like, you can't do that against good teams because they'll bury you, like the PSG did today. We have a stat from Opta Paulo. 102 touches made by Leandro Paredes against PSG, more than any other player in his debut match with Juventus in the Champions League since Opta started collecting these kind of stats. So, you wanted a busy Regista? You got a busy Regista. Paredes, he'll be good. He'll be good. Don't worry about him. He's going to be fine. Let's see what happens in the next few games. Who's going to start against Salernitana? I have no idea. It's 5 days from now, so there should be some rest available. Who knows if Di Maria was going to be okay. But now I'll start reading some comments just to end the show because I got to get out of here shortly. I usually don't do Tuesdays, but nobody was available, so I decided to hop on. And yeah, we'll get your reactions now. Everyone's saying Bonucci wasn't good. I agree. Bonucci was not good. I don't want to reiterate old points that I made. I said what I said already about Bonucci. He should not be playing against these types of teams. There's not much else to say. Let's go over it. The two up top. Milik and Vlahovic. You can see their different types of characteristics. Milik will drop in and he has a decent touch and will control the ball and hold it up a bit. Vlahovic ain't that right now. His touch is as good as that wall in front of me, and I keep saying that. But Vlahovic is much better 30 yards from goal than Milik is. More potent, more active. I don't know if they might be trying to play like that or advised and coached to be like that, but there was a clear back and forth of who's more suited to do what role. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way we set up. I didn't like the two up top. And that's life though. We had what we had. The substitutions came in. Keane came on. Didn't do much. So at this point, Allegri has nothing on the bench. Antonle Parshikov is saying, who can outrun Mbappe? It's not about outrunning him. It's about gap control. And you know what? Am I stealing that from I am stealing that from hockey, but there's gap control in every sport. So the gap control in this situation is if you see Mbappe running and you're Bremer and you're athletic enough, you can cover that space. Bonucci, you ain't doing that. You're 35 years old. You were never the most athletic guy to begin with. I don't want him to start. Gatti is probably better athletically. Actually, you know what? Not probably. He is. So, at the end of the day, I don't want Bonucci playing against these teams anymore, these types of teams. I don't want Cuadrado playing anymore. So, it's tough to use players off the bench who aren't good either. Like, who do you start in Cuadrado's spot today? De Chilio? I don't know. Who plays right wing back instead of Cuadrado today? It's De Chilio or nobody at this point. Khalid's saying Danilo, but I guess. But then who plays center back? It's Bremer, Gotti, and who? Danilo saying Cambiaso. Yeah, I guess. But he's at Bologna right now, stinking up the joint. I don't know. I'm kind of on board with anybody but Quadrado at this point. I'm fed up with him. I'm fed up with Quadrado. But guess what? He's going to start against Salernitana Sunday. You can put your mortgage on it. Like, he's going to start Sunday. Let's see if there's any more post-match. Anything anybody else said? Del Piero said something. What did Del Piero say? Juve, despite the start, slowly realized that they can hurt them. The return match in Torino, I imagine a different game. The fact is that as soon as you give these guys space, they hurt you. And that's exactly what I said at the beginning. That's what I said as soon as I started the stream here. It's not an embarrassing result, but it's a result that you saw coming. That's what I'll end it as. Let's look forward to Sunday against Salernitana. I hope that we put in a I hope we put as much effort in the second half of this game, and we put that much effort into the whole 90 minutes. I would love to see a full 90-minute performance from this team soon, because we've not seen that this year. And I'm going to go on to say people might be feeling positive. I'm not going to say this. I'm not trying to shit on anybody's parade here. Juventus have 2 wins in 6 games this year. Juventus have 2 wins in 6 games. 1 against a stinky Sassuolo, 1 against a stinky Spezia. Let's think about that for a sec. It needs to be better, but we need to get the gears right here. I'll believe it when I see it, when they say we're going to try and get better and do better from this and learn from this. But I'm very skeptical of us performing it for 90 minutes against Salernitana. Will we win? We'll get into that. But at the same time, nothing is leading me to believe that we will put a 90-minute performance. Somebody asked me, any thoughts on Allegri dropping Locatelli? Would he have made a difference in the first half? I don't think so. I don't think he would have made a difference. Moretti, again, he was fine. He was caught in all like the rest of our team. I don't know if he would have made a difference. The only thing he probably would have made a difference was defensively. He would have probably been a little more astute in the defensive phase. But going forward, nah. So he'll probably start Sunday. I'm trying to think of my final thoughts here. Final thoughts. It's a bad result because we lost. It's not an embarrassing result, so it's fine. But it's not a good result because we still lost, and I hate that. It was expected that we would lose. The first half was expected to play the way it was, but it was a decent bounce back in the second half in terms of scoreline, in terms of territorial play. I'm not saying it was because we were much better than PSG or PSG dropped off. You can make that inference for yourself. Delgawi's saying stop being so negative. If you're okay with us being 2 wins, 3 draws, and a loss to start the season, the way we play football, then I need to drink some of that Kool-Aid. Anyway, I forgot my train of thought. I lost my train of thought. I don't even think we should take this as I see a spiritual win. No. I don't think we should take this as a spiritual win. We lost the game. We got dummied in the first half. We got our pants pulled down in the first half. The second half, they lost. They didn't continue on PSG with their first half performance. We got a little bit better. And that's it. We need to be better on Sunday. We need to go out and win and be good if you want me to be positive. If not, I'm going to come back here on the post game against Salernitana and say we were shit again. Dan's asking me, does Allegri stay the whole season? I've said this, I think, last week, but I'll say it. I'll keep saying it until it eventually happens. I think if Allegri is 10 points or 8 to 10 points away from top spot by Christmas time, I think he's done. I think if we're close by Christmas time to the top and we're still in the Champions League and we're going to get Chiesa and Pogba back during that time, I think he stays. And at the end of the season, I think he has to be in a top 2 or 3 spot, or even top 4, depending how close the points are. And I think he has to do decently well in the Champions League. But if he doesn't do that, if he does worse than he did last year, he's done. If the performances are this shit and he doesn't match last year's result result, I guess, then he's done. And then NB7 is saying thoughts on a back 3 setup until Chiesa and Pogba come back. We don't have the center backs to continuously play, because if Bonucci gets hurt, then is it Gatti, Rugani, Danilo? Is it Bremer? I don't want Cuadrado playing either. I just don't want Cuadrado. I don't want a reason for Cuadrado to play anymore. That is the one player I cannot stand at the moment on this team. You've had a decent Juventus career, but at this moment in time, you ain't it, brother. You're just not it. Johnny squared. You're just not it. You're not good enough. Yeah, I don't want to play. And to be honest, again, up top, we're gonna have Milik and Vlahovic. We don't have the player personnel to play this. We don't have the player personnel to play 3-5-2 all the time. In one-off games, sure, but throughout the season, we can't play 3-5-2. We just do not have the player personnel to do so. Even if we're waiting for Chiesa and Pogba, which is going to be when? Closer to January. We cannot play 3-5-2 up until then. Haneen's asking thoughts on Paredes. I thought he was one of our best players. He's going to settle in nicely. Dan Brile says, I wish we had Depay. I 100% agree with you. And then Jockey Bro, one of our members, saying Aurier is a free agent. I thought he signed for Nottingham Forest. I thought he signed there. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he signed there at least. So, and Serge Aurier is not the answer either, by the way. Is he better than Cuadrado at this point? Probably. I don't know. But Serge Aurier is not the answer at this point. We'll wrap it up there. It's 5:45 here where I am. Thank you all for tuning in today. It wasn't embarrassing, but it still wasn't a great performance at the end of the day. We lost 2-1, match day 1 in the Champions League. First time in like 23 years we lost our first match in the Champions League. Like, subscribe, and share the video if you haven't already. Follow the Bianconeri Zone on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Bianconeri Zone. Follow Justin Sofro at Justin Sofro. Follow Alejandro at Alejandro BZ. Follow myself at G95151 if you want. I did a lot of tweets today. More so than usual. So follow me if you want. They were kind of funny. I don't want to boost my own or toot my own horn here, but they were kind of funny. But thank you all for watching. Again, Forza Juve. We'll be back. I don't know if we'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow we're gonna tee up Salernitana throughout the week, and deal with the loss that was today and where we go from here in the Champions League in the future. So thank you. Ciao for now. We'll see you next time.